Girard Nurseries, located in northern Ohio, is more than just a nursery. It's a family's way of life. Started over 50 years ago by Pete Girard Sr., a famous hybridizer of rhododendrons and azaleas, Girard Nurseries was handed down to Pete Jr., who expanded the nursery's offerings to include a vast assortment of conifers. The nursery now grafts over 40,000 trees a year and ships all over the nation. Pete and his wife Caroline live next door to the nursery, and a house completely surrounded by display gardens, with rare species in every imaginable shape, size, and color. As you'll see, Pete is passionate about collecting new and unusual species of conifers.
It's something it's in almost everybody, that passion for plants and something living. And as you take and you plant these trees and watch them grow, you always want something a little different, and you continue.
Pete, how many types of conifers do you think you have growing here in the garden?
I would say it's pretty close to 2,500 different kinds right now.
2,500?
Right.
And how much property is here?
It's probably, I got about 5 acres here that we have the gardens in.
Did you ever envision that you would become that obsessed with conifers?
No, I didn't. It started with a few, and
this is what it's turned into.
This is what it's turned into. Now I'm looking for places to put new ones and expanding. Girard Nurseries started in 1943, and it was started by my father. He had a floral shop in Cleveland, and he also had some property in Willoughby, Ohio, where he grew chrysanthemums and gladiolas. And prior to that, his father was in the greenhouse business in Ashtabula, Ohio. And he come out here, what he bought was a seed company in '43, and converted it over into not only seeds, but nursery plants. When he retired in the 1970s, he turned the business over to me. And from the 70s till today, I've been running it. I usually work with just about everybody here, with Jeff and my wife and my daughter and grandson. And between all of us, we all have our own jobs. Jeffrey takes and does most all the landscaping and the grafting. And of course, Roberta takes care of all the shipping and the mail order. Takes care of the sales yard.
Gardens are all in this area. You can go ahead and go in the gardens.
There's a lot to do in the greenhouses too. And Roberta makes sure the cuttings are done and they're stuck and they're sprayed and watered. Then we have little Petey. He does a lot of the operating of the machinery, the tractors, and helps with customers. And then there's my wife, of course. She's in the office and she does most of the book work and everything in the office. Everybody's involved in the business.
About 15 years ago, Pete started the display gardens around his house, never dreaming it would become a tourist attraction.
Well, it started out on a small scale, and I wanted to grow a few plants. And I put in the first garden, and then after that I said, well, I can use a few more plants. And I added another little garden. And I kept adding gardens, and it became an obsession, more or less, because there's always another plant out there that I want. And this is why we have what we have today.
When Pete's wife Caroline said she'd like a small garden at the front of the house with a water feature, she never expected Niagara Falls.
Now the front gardens, they were started with a cherry tree that covered the house. And I had to take it out. My wife, she couldn't stand it, couldn't see the road. And we had a large hole in the ground that had to be filled. So we proceeded to dig that out, make it larger, and put a pool in We said, well, we're on an incline. Why don't we put a pool above it and make a falls? So then we made a pool above it, made a falls, and then we started to look. We said, well, why don't we put it coming out of a rock above that? So then we had a little falls coming into the first pool and a falls coming from the first to the second.